At the time, I didn't think my life could get any smaller. I was broke, underemployed, barely scraping together enough for rent in a studio apartment that smelled like someone else's regrets. The walls were thin. The future was thinner. I spent most nights staring at my ceiling, asking questions I was too tired to answer. I was nobody. Just a guy with some bills, a degree no one cared about, and a girlfriend who was slowly drifting out of reach. Her name was Hannah. We'd been together since college, one of those relationships that started during late-night study sessions and fast food runs. She was always more outgoing than me, more put together. I used to think I was lucky she even looked my way. Now I wonder if that was the first red flag. It didn't happen all at once. She just stopped trying. Stopped checking in. Stopped smiling when I came into the room. Her phone started living face down on the table. She took more solo weekends. She came back colder every time. I noticed, but I didn't say anything. I was too busy trying to fix myself, find better work, show her I wasn't just potential. I thought maybe if I got my life together, she'd remember why she fell in love with me. Turns out, she already forgot. The day she left, she didn't cry. Didn't explain. Just said she couldn't do this anymore. That I wasn't moving forward. That she needed someone who made her feel alive. The words barely registered. I just stood there, watching her pack a bag like she was going on vacation and not walking out of the only thing that felt real to me. I didn't chase her. I didn't scream. I just sat down on the edge of the bed and tried to remember how to breathe. After she left, I stayed broken for a while. Numb. Empty. Going through the motions. I kept my job at the gas station, kept eating instant noodles, kept pretending like I wasn't dying a little more every day. I didn't talk about it. Not to friends. Not to family. Just let the silence rot inside me. But then, slowly, something changed. Not out of anger. Not even out of spite. Just survival. I got tired of feeling powerless. Of watching life happen to me like I was just a guest in someone else's movie. So I started over. Quietly. Alone. And no one noticed. But they would. It started with small things. I stopped scrolling through her social media. Stopped checking if she was online. I deleted our old photos, one by one. I cleaned my apartment. Started waking up earlier. I cut sugar. Cut caffeine. Cut excuses. I got a better job, warehouse night shift. Hard work, bad pay, but better than minimum wage and better than doing nothing. I used the silence to think. To listen to podcasts. Business, discipline, growth. Words I never used to care about. Now I clung to them. I started learning again. Not at some university. On my own. YouTube tutorials. Free courses. Audio lectures while I stocked shelves. I taught myself how to code. How to invest. How to sell. I was still broke. Still invisible. But my mind was moving faster than it ever had. I stopped needing people to clap for me. Because I was done performing. Over time, I built a small freelance portfolio. Tech work. Simple stuff, but real. Clients came in slowly, then faster. I slept less. Worked more. Got stronger. Mentally, physically. I bought my first real laptop. I started running. By year 2, I had my own business. Just me. No office. No titles. Just results. I hired someone to help with admin. Then a designer. Then another coder. We built things people needed. I made more money than I ever thought I would. Moved into a better place. Bought new clothes. I didn't dress for attention. I dressed for silence, the kind that comes when you know you don't need to explain yourself anymore. I didn't look for love. I didn't chase it. I just focused. Somewhere along the way, I stopped thinking about her. I only realized it when I found an old photo of us in a backup folder. I stared at it for maybe 5 seconds. Then I deleted it. No emotion. No speech. Just gone. Because she wasn't mine anymore. And I wasn't his anymore either, the man I used to be. He died quietly. And I buried him with no headstone. Success didn't come overnight. But it came. Not the Instagram kind. Not the flashy watches and rented cars. Real success. Quiet. Sustainable. Untouchable. I didn't start speaking louder. I just stopped explaining myself. That was the shift. People began to notice. Old friends I hadn't heard from in years reached out. Some wanted to reconnect. Some wanted favors. Some just wanted to know if the rumors were true. They were. I kept my circle small. A few close friends. My team. No more chasing people who only clapped when they were in the spotlight. I joined a gym. A real one this time. Started lifting heavier. Eating better. Not to impress anyone. Just to feel solid. Grounded. I stopped flinching when I looked in the mirror. One evening, a friend invited me to a party. Tech crowd. Some business owners, investors, creatives. Not my usual scene, but I went. For the first time, I didn't feel like I needed to prove I belonged. I walked in wearing a suit that fit, not just on my body, but in my life. The room buzzed with small talk and subtle competition. I moved through it calmly. I wasn't the most charming guy there. Wasn't the richest. But I didn't need to be. I had my name. My story. And no one could take that from me. And then, through the crowd, I saw her. Hannah. Standing by the bar. Her hair was shorter. Her smile was the same, wide, confident, slightly practiced. She was talking to someone but her eyes drifted. Found me. And they froze. It was like time skipped a beat. She blinked. And I kept walking. I didn't expect to feel nothing. But I did. No anger. No heartbreak. Not even satisfaction. Just stillness. Hannah walked toward me slowly. Careful steps. I knew that walk. That hesitation. That fear disguised as curiosity. She looked me up and down like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Like I was a ghost from a life she buried. I nodded politely. She tried to smile. I didn't offer one back. That moment, it wasn't dramatic. There was no slow music, no poetic justice. Just two people who had nothing left to say, and one of them who finally knew his worth. She hovered near me the rest of the night. I could feel it. Like gravity trying to reconnect. But the pull was gone. She came over once, later, holding a drink. She said something, maybe a greeting, maybe a memory. I heard her voice, but I didn't absorb the words. Because it didn't matter. That chapter was closed. Not slammed shut in bitterness. Just, done. And no amount of makeup or regret could change that. She tried to ask what I'd been doing. Said she'd heard things. Her tone shifted, flirtation with a layer of guilt. But I didn't bite. I was fine. Truly, completely fine. Because the man she left behind didn't survive. He evolved. And the man standing in front of her now? He didn't owe her anything. A few days after the party, she messaged me. I knew she would. It started simple. Hey, smiley face, like we hadn't drifted years apart. Like she hadn't walked out on a man barely able to breathe. Like nothing ever broke. I didn't reply. A few hours later, another one came through. Longer. More emotional. She said she was happy to see me doing so well. That I seemed different. That I always had it in me. I stared at the message for a while, then locked my phone. Because here's the truth. People always notice the shine after they throw you away dirty. Over the next few weeks, she kept trying. A comment on one of my photos. A reaction to a story. A song she said reminded her of us. I didn't block her. I didn't delete her. I just didn't care. And for someone like her, that was worse than rage. Hannah lived off reactions. Attention. She needed to feel unforgettable. But I had forgotten her. Not out of hate. Out of healing. It's strange how time changes the weight of memories. The nights I used to ache over, the mornings I couldn't get out of bed, they feel like someone else's life now. Like watching a movie I already know the ending to. I don't flinch anymore. I had new people in my life now. Real ones. Ones who met me as I am, not who I used to be. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, or a distraction. But I was open to something. Slowly. And there was someone. Kind eyes. Sharp mind. Quiet confidence. Her name was Leah. We met through a client. She worked in brand strategy. Smart, thoughtful, not easily impressed. She didn't flirt. She noticed. I liked that. We talked more. Slowly. No games. No fake interest. And the thing is, I didn't need her. But I wanted to know her. That's the difference. Hannah wanted to be needed again. But that chapter was sealed. She sent me one more message. This time, no smiley face. Just. I miss what we had. I miss you. I didn't reply. Not to hurt her. Just because, it didn't matter. She was a lesson. Not a loss. After her last message, I muted her. Not blocked. Just, silence. That was more honest. Because there wasn't anger left. Just a calm, heavy absence, like a door that quietly closes and doesn't creak when you walk away. I stopped checking if she viewed my stories. I stopped wondering what she thought of my life now. I stopped shaping my days around the question, what would she think if she saw me now? Because the truth? It didn't matter anymore. Leah and I had been spending more time together. Nothing labeled. Nothing rushed. Just honest connection. Good food. Long talks. Shared silence that didn't feel awkward. She didn't ask about my past. But I told her some of it anyway. Not the dramatic parts. Just the shape of things. The man I used to be. What I'd lost. What I'd rebuilt. She didn't say, I'm sorry. She said, I'm glad you kept going. And somehow, that was better. Because not once did she try to rescue me from anything. She just respected the fact that I'd already crawled out. One evening I got invited to another party. Different scene this time, smaller, more intimate. The kind where people wear real smiles and not masks. Leah came with me. And Hannah was there. Of course she was. She saw us before we saw her. Her face changed. Not dramatically. Just this small, almost imperceptible drop in posture. Like someone realizing they missed a step in the dark. I nodded when our eyes met. Leah asked if everything was okay. I said yes. Because it was. Hannah stayed on the other side of the room. I could feel her glance at us now and then. Maybe she wanted to come over. Maybe she knew it was pointless. Because you don't chase what already let you go. Later that night, Leah laughed at something I said. The real kind of laugh, not flirty, not rehearsed. And in that moment, I felt it. The full, final detachment. Not just from Hannah. But from the man I used to be around her. There were no ashes left. No fire to put out. Just peace. And the woman beside me? She wasn't holding pieces of me. She was meeting me whole. The real turning point didn't come with a message, or a moment. It came on a regular Tuesday. I was sitting at my desk, working on a new project. Coffee half full. Calendar full. Maddie asleep in the other room. Music low in the background. A quiet evening. Ordinary. And I realized. I hadn't thought about Hannah in weeks. Not once. Not when I woke up. Not when I succeeded. Not even when I felt tired or lonely. She just stopped existing in my mind. She didn't hurt anymore. She didn't matter. Not because I erased her, but because I'd filled that space with better things. With growth. With people who see me, not need me. With the version of myself I was always meant to become, the one I couldn't be when I was busy trying to hold on to someone who'd already let go. I wasn't angry. I wasn't bitter. I was just free. Months passed. I heard Hannah moved to another city. Took a job somewhere. Started dating someone new. Good for her. I meant that. Because by then, I had everything I needed, and nothing that chained me to the past. Leah and I were solid. Not perfect. Not flashy. But real. And more than anything, easy. Easy in the way healthy things are. No mind games. No half-love. No pretending. I told her about the old version of me once. The man Hannah left. The one with the broken ego, the empty wallet, the bruised silence. She looked at me and said, I don't know that man. But I'm glad you do. Because that's the thing, I do know him. I carry his memory. His struggle. His mistakes. But I'm not him anymore. And neither is my life. So when people ask if I'd take Hannah back, or if I'd ever reach out, or if I still wonder, what if? I just smile. Because some chapters aren't meant to be reopened. Some ghosts don't haunt you. They just sit quietly in the past, exactly where they belong. And I don't owe them a single word.